You heard?
Okay, so we'll find out in 2 seconds.
So we're live on YouTube.
Right now.
Okay, good to go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to ERSB meeting number 104. Can you all hear us online? They got me. This should be-
Right, go into YouTube. Because we're getting the feedback.
And voice gonna be.
All right, we're gonna ask y'all to mute your mics if you don't mind. Thank you.
Voice. Then.
So I'll call the meeting to order. Adoption of the tonight's agenda. Councilor Ellsworth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Carried, thank you. Review of the minutes of the meeting of January 25th, 2023. If there are any errors or omissions, let us know now or forever hold your peace.
Fabulous, so I'll move adoption.
Moved by Councilor Hickman. Second by Councilor Vaders. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Tonight's committee reports. The first one up is the Finance and Audit Committee. Councilor Sandy Hickman here will be delivering the report. We could ask everybody to meet your online there. Whoever's on the phone. Thank you.
Okay,
Councilor Hickman, floor is yours.
we met February 9th. And the expenditure there, or even your package and report. We'll just quickly go through each major point. Agenda item 4A1, board expenditures report. The check register, payroll summary. For the month of January, we're tabled for review, and we had no issues or concerns in our meeting. Are there any questions for staff? No, okay, I'll move that to be resolved that the board adopt the expenditures for the month of January 2023 as tabled.
Moved by Councilor Hickman, second by Councilor Delaney. All those in favor? Contrary?
4A2, Incorporated Towns Payment Activity Report, again dated February 2nd. Staff know that they were pleased with this month's report, and we had no questions or concerns in our meeting. Does anyone else have questions for staff? Okay, that's for information only. 4A3, award of Southern Shore Waste Services tender, and there's a briefing note in there for your review. This contract is due to expire on June 30th this year, and we have exercised both the one-year extensions, and we often do, and so therefore, staff are recommending the board award the new 36-month contract beginning July 1st to lowest bidder T2 Venture. So I'll make a motion, and I guess there's questions after. Be resolved that the board award the Southern Shore Waste Services contract beginning July 1st, 2023 for 36 months for the value of $1,489,020, including HST to lowest bidder T2 Ventures Inc.
Moved by Councilor Hickman, second by
Second.
Councilor Roots.
How did this fare to pass, Director
Christie.
Christie?
Hi, so it is a little bit more than the previous. The current contract annual unit cost is $129.56, and this is going to be $138.18. But this contract is was issued 5 years ago, so a lot has changed in the last 5 years. So that percentage increase seems reasonable given the area size.
Yeah, no question. No, sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
And let Ron in there, correct?
Let Ron in, there you go. Who seconded that?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Carried. Thank you.
4A4, award of beta grade waste services tender, again, briefing note included for the perusal. And this is due to expire June 30th, this summer as well. And again, both 1-year extensions have been exercised. And again, we're looking at another 36-month contract beginning July 1st. And the motion is be resolved that the board award the Bay to Great Area Waste Services contract beginning July 1st, 2023 for 36 months for the value of $435,797.28, including HST to the lowest bidder around the Bay disposal link.
Moved by Councillor Hickman, second by
Carol?
Carol. Any questions or comments? You'll see a big difference in the price of that because it's a smaller zone. A lot of towns, so.
Yes, Chris, is this per unit, twice up or down? I forget.
It's per unit. One of the interesting things about this, though, is that we did receive 2 bids for the tender, and they were very close. And so that gives us a really good confidence that it's a true price.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary?
Last item is just the audit partner's report. Ongoing and proceeding in a timely manner. There was no concerns on any of us like Craig or Zach. And we're hoping to have the draft financial statements for committee's review by mid-March. So I guess we've had more extensive discussions when it comes through. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for your hard work. I know you put a lot of hours in it, so we can waste your time. And plus you're a celebrity on TV all the time, so it makes us all feel a lot better. Next up, we have the Strategy and Policy Committee. Councillor Tilley, who normally chairs that committee, is not here tonight, was unavailable. So therefore, we have our stand-in, Councillor Jamie Corab, from the beautiful city of St. John, Newfoundland, Labrador, Canada. Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. So we had agenda item 4B1 for motion household hazardous waste or HHW programs that we refer to here, placing $1,000 stipend with a gift for participating communities of fire department. So a brief note is included in tonight's package. As members recall, this item was discussed at the regular board meeting in January 25th. At that meeting, it was decided to defer the motion back to the Strategy and Policy Committee for further deliberation. By way of reminder, each year the board tenders about 15 to 20 mobile HHW collection events to be held throughout the Eastern region with the support of local fire departments. Each HHW event costs around 5,000 hosts. Following the HHW event, the board provides $1,000 stipend to the participating departments for their assistance. In lieu of stipend, it was suggested that the board may want to consider providing a gift of similar value to the host community, and or fire department that will be represented the board by use of our logo, providing a legacy program. Discussion at the board meeting suggested that the benefit should go to the fire department rather than community, as they are providing the labor for these events. However, fire departments do not operate autonomously or independently of the communities. They are departments of their local government, and in most cases, town councils or LSD committee approves the hosting of the HHW events in their community. So at the committee meeting, staff provided a timeline for tendering of these events. They have already begun work with communities and fire departments to determine who is interested in hosting events this year. The tenders will be issued in early March with a close date of early April to ensure that these tender informations are available for April finance audit committee meetings. Staff works with the fire department in February to determine who is interested in participating in the HHW events in either June or September. So because there is no definitive decision regarding changing the program up to now, staff are recommending that the board adhere to the stipend for this year, as they were unable to provide any different information to those fire departments who have already expressed interest in the current year. So staff and committee members felt that suggested change in the program would not significantly impact the program or the numbers of participating fire departments for this year. The committee agreed to recommend that the board provide an in-kind donation to the participating communities and fire departments as long as the donation lies within the board's mandate. The committee agreed that the participating communities and fire departments should be notified of this change prior to scheduling the 2024 events. So the motion to be put forward is be resolved that the board discontinue the $1,000 stipend to be paid to participating fire departments for their assistance in the HHW program. Instead, beginning in 2024, the board will provide an in-kind donation of similar value up to $1,000 following the consulting with the host community and the participating fire department to ensure the donation is in line with the board's mandate. And I will move that.
Moved by Councillor Corr.
Comment, comment, Mr. Chairman?
Sure thing. Yeah.
On page 2 of the briefing note, I just want to suggest a correction. It said, the paragraph that starts with fire departments do not operate autonomously. That paragraph, it said, at the board meeting, several members suggested purchasing equipment. However, all equipment from fire trucks to firefighting equipment and training are funded by the province through the Fire Protection Services Funding Program. That's not correct, actually. Our fire truck and the fire trucks of some other local districts were able to be purchased at a 90/10. Some fire departments had to buy their own utility trucks. Their fireman suits are often purchased by fire departments. So there's a lot. I'm not suggesting an error in the motion, but in terms of the material evidence to go with it, there is a correction needed.
In the briefing note, there is a correction. Yes, that correction can be made, but in the motion itself, there's no change.
No.
Yeah. So I appreciate the heads up there. Let's just we can make that quick change to the briefing.
We change all
to some really.
some, yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'll second the motion.
All right, perfect, thank you. Second. Any other commentary? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you.
All right, agenda item 4B2, implementing transparent/clear garbage bag policy effective January 1st, 2024. Briefing note is included in tonight's package. The committee agreed that the board should implement a clear garbage bag policy beginning January 1st, 2024. Discussion at the meeting noted that there are numerous reasons to implement the clear garbage bag policy, including only recyclable materials placed curbside, clear bags allow collectors to see hazardous waste items being discarded and ensure it is not collected. This will result in less hazardous material being in the landfill. Clear bags allow collectors to see discarded items that could pose a threat to their safety, including improperly discarded needles, knives, glass, and other sharp objects and/or liquids. Therefore, it ensures safe working environment. One non-transparent bag will be accepted weekly to accommodate personal items or sensitive material, also referred to as a privacy bag. The committee agreed that residents should be provided with information on proper recycling guidelines in advance of these changes, and in addition, they should be notified of these changes soon, so we provide time for them to use up their current black or green garbage bags. It was agreed that the board will provide a transition period for implementing this clear garbage bag policy, hence the January 1st, 2024 date. So the motion that I will move is be resolved that the board adopt a policy that all curbside materials be in transparent/clear bags except for one privacy bag effective January 1st, 2024. Said I move.
Moved by Councillor Correa, second by Councillor Bruce. Any discussion? Councillor Hickman.
But when the city did this and some of the other major towns, this meant that what it means is that recycling is mandatory. So are we now doing a second collection of the recyclable materials in blue bags? I don't see that here. You can't do this. There's no point to this. We should actually collect recycling.
We do collect recycling. I have been since we started.
Anybody under contract with the ERSB has a.
So we're talking about what we collect, not about.
Same thing,
Whole
same
region.
name.
Yeah.
Not the same. We're trying to push it on the whole region, hopefully, but there are towns that don't do this. That still do.
No towns under contract with this
No.
board, but yeah, there are towns in the eastern region that still doesn't offer recycling to the residents.
So hopefully we can use this and drive that a bit more.
Yeah.
To go. But they have split trucks now, is that what they use?
Yeah, our contractors have been using separate vehicles. to
Oh, two different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excellent. So this 100%.
Take care to go around the road.
Who?
Keith.
You can mute yourself if you're not on the. Rob, there, I think your hand up.
Yeah, further to the point that Lynn just raised, our contractor is in a long-term contract that's going to go past the date of January 1st, 2024. So when they do their drops to Robin Hood Bay or to believe the other disposal site, this may be an impairment for them because of the contract they already have in place with various municipalities that doesn't address this.
No, it won't be an issue with you because your town is not under contract with the ERSB, I don't think, right?
No, but they
Well,
still
let me-
have to do the drop-offs to the waste sites, right? So if they have to do a compliance with a particular bag from the community, are they going to be stopped when they attempt their drop-offs?
Well,
At Robin Hood Bay, no, I got, there's nothing right now that prohibits anybody from bringing black bags to Robin Hood Bay, or nor will there be if this motion is passed. This is for our communities under contract with this board.
Understood entirely. Perfect. Thank you.
No, I would suggest any municipalities that aren't under contract with us, send a memo to their providers and ask them to switch over.
and the government too.
Yeah, to the government, because that's the way this is going, so. Ron, did you have something? Or no, you're good?
I don't
Any
know
other-
any available other bags. Are they, I've never bought a clear bag.
Most,
Like I use blue bag.
most Walmart, Sobeys, Minis,
All the
all.
small clearly should have no.
I suspect that once this goes through, I suspect most of the bigger retailers are gonna have very small amount of green ones left, and most of the big area.
Yeah, in the city, when it first happened, there was a bit of a lull in stock. And your Costco's, your Walmart, your Minis, Sobeys, Coleman's, they all caught up. So for some of the smaller communities, it might take a little bit of time, but again, there'll be this transition period with lots of notice, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, the reason we went a year round, Mark, was
Was for
to make sure that
Yeah.
people who just went out and bought 1,000 garbage bags. Can get rid of them, so. Look, it's, Councilor Hickman and I have been chatting about this for a while now, and a few others, and this, I think the way that the whole problem should go. I think as long as we're doing it and, all the municipalities start doing it, we'll get most of the municipalities on board, is gonna drive the recycling rates way up, as they did in City St. John's and Rockborough, and a few others in the West Coast as well, so. The data is in, and it's proven bad, so.
Yeah, and just by way of information, Central and Western, they've been doing this for years. So the rest of the province has been doing this for years. Yeah.
So all those in favor? Contract? Very, thank you.
All right, agenda item 4B3, reinstatement of the policy review, request for exemption for waste management services. Briefing note is included in tonight's meeting package. At our meeting, staff reminded committee members that this policy review had initially begun in 2020. However, it was suspended due to the ongoing pandemic. Former committee considered whether to maintain this policy or not. However, they determined the board should maintain an exemption from waste services policy. Current policy is not working and must be updated to ensure it's fair and works for our residents and the communities. There's a lot of information included in tonight's meeting package for members, and we invite you to review it and send along any suggestions or comments to the CAO. The committee and staff will continue to work on developing a policy that is reasonable, affordable, and fair for residents and staff. Once the draft is complete, it will be brought to the board for final consideration. Are there any questions?
So this has nothing to do with, cottage country
No, this is more to do with,
definition.
No, nothing to do with the cabins or anything like that. We regularly receive requests. I think there's somewhere in the ballpark, Christie, can you correct me if I'm wrong, about 40 a year, I think. Somebody goes in the home and their house is left vacant. The house is vacant for 3-4 years. They call us because they're still paying waste fees there. And there is an exemption form right now that they complete, but one of the parameters or guidelines is they must board up the property. That's causing a lot of issues because that means they have to incur great expense to do that. And that's just one of the things that we're looking at, but we're trying to establish some guidelines that are clearer and better than what we have right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
we're trying to work with the residents, make sure that we don't want to put any onerous on top of them, but, at some point there has to be some sort of guidelines as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we don't want, frivolous exemption request either from everybody and everybody. So we're trying to find that balance where it's fair.
Good work.
Good. All right. Agenda item 4B4, strategic plan 2023-2027 update. Briefing notes included in tonight's meeting package. The plan and consultation process for the board's 2023-2027 plan was very valuable and insightful. Consultant sessions were held with the board and with staff. The discussion at both sessions were extremely beneficial. The employee sessions helped highlight the internal strengths and perceived weaknesses of the day-to-day operation of the board. page. These are double-sided, I'm not used to double-sided. Consultation with board members was very intuitive when determining where they thought the board was headed. Board was also particularly interested in how to improve environmental stewardship, and additional strategic pillars have been added to reflect the new approach. The final means of consultation was a survey sent to communities in the Eastern region. There were several interesting results from the survey which helped guide the strategic plan process. Several larger communities indicated interest in having the board provide additional services, such as municipal enforcement and planning. Communication with communities was once again identified as a key area where the board can improve. This is a little surprising because the board has been very active involving in community outreach and providing administrative support to joint councils across most of the Eastern region since late 2016 or for more than 6 years. With the hiring of a communications coordinator in 2021, we hope to see communications with all our stakeholders improve. A rough draft of the board strategic plan is tabled at the committee meeting. However, it is still very much in draft plan because of the high likelihood that the board will be provided with additional geographic areas and additional services. So the committee will continue to work on the strategic plan and will bring it forward to the board once finalized. Are there any questions from the committee?
So it's basically, I suppose, semi-fold until we find out and go on where things are going. That's it.
Yep. Very much.
It's good exercise.
It's pretty well done. It's just,
Yeah.
we're just waiting on a couple pieces of information from the provincial government to pick off those last couple little items.
Excellent.
Nothing else? All right.
Nope.
Agenda item 4B5, 2022 waste operations report. A briefing note and the 2022 waste operations report is included in tonight's meeting package. For the waste recovery facilities, more materials were diverted in 2022 than in 2021. There was a slight decrease in number of clients that brought materials to these facilities. Staff has noticed an increase in illegal dumping and vandalism. Due to ongoing vandalism and theft, the board can no longer accept electronic recyclables at its Cavendish, Harbor Grace, or Burlington sites. For the Colonial transfer station, following waste was moved to a regional landfill. There was 4,300 tons of regular waste and 432.2 tons of recyclables. And there was 888.1 tons of metal recyclables that were removed by the board's metal recycle. Overall, the participation and the amount of materials collected at the board's mobile HHW events was higher in 2022 than 2021. Are there any questions for staff? That's good.
No questions? Thank you.
All right. Agenda item 4B6, the 2022 Regional Water Wastewater Operations Report. The board's Regional Water Wastewater Operations final quarterly report for 2022 is included in tonight's meeting package. The regional operator continues to work with 18 communities and has recently been in touch with 2 communities that are interested in becoming part of this program. It was noted at the committee meeting that provincial government funding for this program expires as of March 31st of this year. To date, there has been no notification of an extension to this program. This is an important and valuable program for the board, and we hope that the province continues to fund it. We should receive notice regarding funding by the end of March, and this committee will report back regarding this item. Are there any questions?
Hearing none.
Seeing none. Last item, agenda item 4B7. Province issued request for proposals RFP for terms of reference for consultant services related to waste management assessment in Discovery Region. So staff informed the committee that the province issued an RFP for terms of reference for consultant services related to the waste management assessment in the Discovery Region in December of 2022. Several weeks ago, the board staff were contacted by a junior technologist from Englobe to visit the Cavendish transfer site. Therefore, the work has begun on this RFP. Staff have reached out to the province's managers for waste management infrastructure with an offer to provide any information or data that may be required. Any questions on that?
Hearing none.
Thank you. That's it for committee.
Well, I thank you for pitch hitting tonight. Appreciate it very much. Next, we have the governance committee, the deputy mayor of the Long Range Mountains, also known as Long Harbor. Deputy Mayor Kevin McDonald, committee chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our meeting 83 was held February 14th, 2023. Agenda item 4C1, deferred motion, meeting management software moved from eScribe to Onboard. A brief note is included in tonight's meeting package. Yeah, this item was tabled at the January Governance Committee meeting, and it was decided to defer the motion as members raised concerns regarding downloading the onboard software or app to their municipality-owned devices due to security concerns. Following the meeting, staff reached out to the IT department at the City of St. John's, as well as several other municipalities, to ensure that the board members could have the software on their devices. The IT staff at the city reviewed the software and subsequently, big word for on snow holiday, pushed the software out to the applicable devices assigned to the council members. In addition, staff tested onboard login through the Windows version of the app, as well as their web page. Both were easy to use and provided similar capabilities. Therefore, any board member who does not want to download the app can easily log into the software using the browser. Therefore, there's no reason not to proceed with the switch to onboard meeting management software. By way of reminder, the board initially acquired eScribe meeting software in 2018 to conduct paperless meetings, increase security of information, improve collaboration, provide quick access to meeting information, and to simplify note-taking. Since that time, onboard meeting software has become available and was developed for boards of directors rather than municipalities. Following a demonstration of the software and extensive research, the committee is recommending that the board switch to onboard. Annually, onboard costs the same as eScribe. Are there any questions or concerns?
I would add that, Councilor Brady there, Mayor Brady, sorry, Boudreaux, we were talking earlier about the, I think, 60-page document that he has in front of him tonight, so that will be eliminated with this. And I assume that all of our board members have some sort of device to view this on. If not,
They did in the past when we used the meeting manager. I think everybody has an electronic device today.
and I assume there will be some training provided to us at some point in the future when we get this set up.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
There will be an orientation for the software, of course. Yeah.
So exciting.
Another password, I'll keep forgetting and look at somebody. We'll set it up on
Calming.
the automatic.
Calming. I will look after it, no problem.
This is great software. I look forward to using it because again, it will be part of our mandate to
Yeah,
curb waste.
it reduces this, and Jamie noted the print double-sided because of course that saves paper. So I am known for that.
You'll actually notice in your meeting packages that the water wastewater report is not in the printed copies here because it was like 25 pages. So I said, well, you got it electronically, and I've got a copy here if you need to see it, but it was just an extra, an abundance of paper, so
I
see it that way as well.
joked at double sided because I'm used to reading off a screen now. I've done it for 6 years, so I'm not
Yeah.
even used to reading that paper. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, this would be a great program.
Thank you, Kevin. So moved by Kevin, second by
Right.
Larry. All those in favor? Contrary? Carried. Thank you.
Hey, agenda item 4C2, workplace NL reports, incidents, issues, and submissions of annual reports. Included in tonight's meeting package are copies of the reports from Workplace NL for members' review. The injury report for the last 3 years plus the current year confirms that there have been no workplace injury claims for this period. This is a great report, and we're pleased to that the staff continue to make safety a priority in their workplace. Staff confirmed that the required 2022 workplace NL annual reports have been completed and submitted. Are there any questions?
There are none.
Okay, agenda item 4C3, Board Professional Development Plan 2023. A brief note is included in tonight's meeting package along with the board's guidelines for professional development, as well as a list of opportunities for this year and early 2024. The 2023 budget for board member professional development is $30,000. Following the review of the information table, the committee is recommending that the board and send the chair and 2 members to the following events. The first one is Canadian Swan and Northern Lights Chapter Annual Conference. It's going to be held in Yellowknife, June 13th to 16th, 2023. Second item is the annual Swana Waste Conference. It's going to be held in Boston, September 27th to the 29th, 2023. And the third one is the Canadian Swana Conference to be held in Niagara Falls, April 3rd to the 5th, 2024. The committee felt that the agenda for the Northern Lights Chapter Annual Conference in Yellowknife is relevant for the boards, as topics include building engagement, optimizing operations, and technology on a small scale for small and remote communities, climate change and its impact, etc. The second recommendation is for the annual Swana Waste Conference, which the board usually attends each year. The focus for the event is to provide leadership and management education through a solid waste lens. The third event being recommended takes place in Niagara Falls, April 2024. This cross-Canada conference will include 2 days of presentations, networking, and a trade show. However, the agenda has not been finalized. Following the board's approval this evening, we encourage the members to submit their expression of interest in attending one or more of these events to the CAO. All expressions of interest will be reviewed by the board chair and the committee. Members are reminded that prior consideration will be given to those members who have not yet had the opportunity to attend professional development events in the past. Are there any questions? If not, I make the motion be it resolved. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, just a quick one. In the past, we've sent some of our staff, so it's not reflected in the motion here. Are we looking to do that?
I take care of staff professional development, so
Okay.
just, yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
perfect. No, just want to be clear. Perfect.
Yeah, you're right, those staff, those usually
Yeah.
attend the same events.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, I make the motion be it resolved that the board send the chair and 2 members to each of the following events. The first one, Canadian Swan Northern Lights Chapter Annual Conference in Yellowknife, June 13th to the 16th, 2023. The second is the annual Swan Waste Con Boston, to be held in Boston, September 27th to 29th, 2023. And the third is the Canadian Swan Conference, to be held in Niagara Falls, April 3rd to the 5th, 2024.
Moved by Kevin, second by Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Patrick, Jerry, thank you.
The next item is agenda item 4C4, Joint Council Updates. A brief notice included in tonight's meeting package. The Southern Shore Joint Council met on Thursday, February 2nd, and provided an excellent presentation by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. The next meeting is to be scheduled for March 2nd. The Conception Bay North Joint Council held the last meeting and election of officers on Thursday, January 26th. Councillor Ryan Snow of South River was elected chairperson, and Deputy Mayor Sam Slade of Carbonear was elected vice chairperson. The next meeting is scheduled on February 23rd, that's tomorrow. The Northeast Avalon Joint Council continues to meet on the second Wednesday of each month. The February 8th meeting was postponed to February 15th, at which time the Newfoundland and Labrador Search and Rescue Association did a presentation, as did the MNL's new CEO, Mr. Rob Nolan. The NEAJC continues to plan a 2023 Joint Council Summit. The board clerk, the board chair, and the CEO, along with elected officials from the Smith Sound and Isthmus area, met in Clarenville on January 31st to discuss reconvening the Joint Council for the areas, as well as providing information regarding the board and its services. Overall, the board's support for the Joint Council has been positive. And no questions or concerns. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time and hard work. Next, we have number 5, correspondence. There was a letter written to Minister Hogan, Minister of Justice, recently, just as a follow-up to a meeting that we had with them regarding several items.
Yeah.
And we'll include that in the next month's package. There's also a couple of letters written to the new chair and vice chair of the JCCBN, congratulating them on their new positions and stepping up. And I'd like to take a chance, opportunity to thank Wes there for setting up the meeting out in Clarenville. We had great attendance. I think it was 18 showed up for that meeting, Wes. Yeah, 18 people, and it was well attended by all the, I think we pretty much covered off all the region there. I don't think anybody was sort of left out there, so it was a good discussion. They had some good questions for myself and Lynn and Polly and Wes as the board rep. So I don't know, Wes, you want to add anything there?
I've had some follow-up conversations with a number of them, and they were certainly pleased at the both the information and the sort of the openness with which the discussion was, so it was positive. I think they would like to see that maybe more often. And I know we went through COVID, and so that was a problem. I think the council is a good idea, and Holly and I are going to have to work on that.
Awesome. No, I appreciate your work on that. Yeah, no, we're good to come out, a couple times a year, whatever it takes to I know they like to be called, I think, more of a working group than a joint council, because some of them are LSDs and unincorporated areas, but whatever we decide to name them, we'll be more than happy to come out and help wherever way we can to keep moving along.
Yeah, I think they're probably a little bit leery of the idea of a joint council in terms of like a more decision-making, sort of joint decision-making process. But as a sort of a cooperative, consultative task group, I think that's the model that they probably favor most.
Good stuff. Again, thanks. That kind of covers off number 6, their new business. The other part of the new business is we had a chat with Nathan up on the Southern Shore. Nathan Ryan, there's our rep down the bottom corner, regarding fire services. And well, you're in my bottom corner. I don't know where you are and everybody else's screen or anything, but just to sort of remind everybody, there whatever the municipality sets as their fire fee. So basically, if a municipality has a fire service and their neighbors don't, and they come into an agreement with, in the case, I think it was a Fairfield name.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So if the town of Fairfield decides to bill their neighbors $70 each, and we handle the fees for them, they get the full $70 into their coffers. We just write a back check for the amount. So in the case of that, if there was 47 properties times $70, $3,290 annually goes back to the town. We charge a $5 administration fee on top of that, just to handle the invoicing, the mail, postage, the letter, so that sort of stuff. So it's a pretty reasonable cost. I don't think it's $5 to owners. So I would encourage that if any other of the municipalities that have fire services and they're supporting other neighboring municipalities, reach out to Lynn or Christy or Craig or whoever looks after that from our end. And Christy, okay, she waited. Reach out to Christy and say, listen, we want you guys to handle it for us, because it's funny because I'm doing in my private life some work for a professional municipal administrator. Some of these small towns only have one person working there. And I mean, we're offering this as a help to these towns. We're not trying to, take over or run the show there. I mean, we're a regional services board. We provide services. So, service.
Thank you.
Service.
Thank you.
With no S.
No,
And there's no additional cost for the community. The user or the customer on the end pays the $5, not the town providing service. So there's no cost to that town whatsoever.
So if anybody wants us to reach out to another neighbor and help out or facilitate a meeting, we're more than happy to do that. That's part of our job, part of our role. So thank you for that. And thank you, Nathan, for helping out on that discussion. Appreciate it. Next we'll do the round table. I'll start with Glenn up on the screen there. Glenn, anything for tonight?
Words of wisdom.
Any words, pearls of wisdom?
No, I don't have anything tonight. I'm just listening and hopefully learn something.
All right, thank you. Kevin?
No, nothing tonight.
Wes?
Yes, just the comment by way of update regarding the feasibility study, the notice of the feasibility study for the 14 communities for the municipality is going to be posted shortly. Consultant has been selected, so.
Awesome. Good stuff. Hilda? Hilda?
No.
Can't hear you.
Got your views, Hilda.
I think she shook her head no anyway.
Yeah.
Christy?
Hi, so just as a point of interest, I 2 weeks ago participated in a focus group with the CCME and used fishing gear. And so they are starting preparations for submitting a federal idea for addressing used fishing gear. And it's quite interesting what goes into those processes, and I think it can be quite exciting on the various ways that they are proposing to address this material to ensure that it is not abandoned and appropriately disposed of.
Awesome. Looking forward to hearing about that.
Yeah.
Bill?
No, all good tonight. Just I'm glad that I couldn't make it because of a little bit of snow. But I'm glad I got on Zoom, so that's good. I was double booked, so that's the reason I couldn't make it out live.
No, good to see you. Thanks for attending. Rod?
Nothing new in terms of roundtable discussion. I'd look for a little bit of advice, though. I don't know if you're all aware of what's going on in Brigus and with their fire department out here locally. So hoping that some of you know what's been going on. Would it be prudent for us to reach out to them and to just let them know that we're out there should they need any assistance in trying to right their ship out there? For those that don't know what I'm talking about, a couple of days ago, between a dispute with council and the fire brigade that's there, they're not, they don't avail of any services currently, by the way. The fire brigade, the majority of them have turned in their pagers in dispute. So I don't know if we want to look like, for lack of a better term, ambulance chasers, but under the mandate of service board, do we want to touch base with them and let them know that we're out there and we have some sort of advice or services that may help their cause? I'm being very broad in general, I can appreciate.
No, I understand. I don't know, Rod, if there's anything we can actually do to facilitate that. That really probably follows more under municipal affairs, probably, I would think, because they would be the ones that sort of oversee fire services, right?
That's right. I guess the Coles Note version of what's going on, and there is a dispute over an increase in finances and their council taking the brigade to task on it. So when I heard us mention about providing a service to a community with a $5 over and above fee for the facilitation of their services, is that something that we want to look at as well? And it's purely a means, by me anyway, to assist them in what I guess we can call a bit of a turbulent time right now.
I certainly have a chat with Lynn and staff on that one. Not real sure again if that falls under our wheelhouse or not, so we can have that conversation offline and see where we go from there.
By all means. That's all I'll have for that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Glenn, you have a quick question?
No, just to comment, I would be very careful of getting involved, with that situation there right now, because, it seems to be an internal issue between probably a particular councillor and the fire department. So I would leave that alone. That's just.
Thank you. Yeah, Nathan.
No, all good on my end.
Thank you, sir. Craig? No, nothing here. The bills are paid, the people are paid. All good. All good. Hey, Jay. Good. Good. I'm there. Ron?
Just one thing, as we all know, we're in the new conflict of interest bylaws, municipalities. As of March 1st, they become effective. I would like to know how that impacts us at this table. Because we are paid members of this board, we're also paid members of St. John City Council, so this is a provincial mandated board, not a city board. So we would need some clarity from the province on, and even for folks in the other municipalities, if we're talking about the issue for Cooch Cove, then is Mark in conflict if he's voting on that issue for Cooch Cove? This one, the discussions we had around our table, trying to understand how this works, right?
Yeah, I will give a really good point. I'll talk to Lynn after this and we'll reach out to Mr. Birch to see what the guidelines are.
Something in writing.
Yeah, I don't know, we'll certainly get something down there. Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
The virtual people are not here in this conversation, or if you want to be able to say that out loud and reiterate, I just got a text saying that they're missing out on this conversation.
Oh, okay.
This part.
I
Who don't know what we're talking about?
don't know why can they not hear us?
No.
How come?
Oh, I don't know, it was just the angle of the camera when Ron spoke up there, but they're.
Sorry, guys. Ron was asking the new conflict of interest guidelines that are coming down from the province and they're going to be adopted by each of the municipalities. How will that affect your relationship as municipalities with the municipal leasing regional service board going forward? So I'll speak to Lynn and I'll get some clarification from Municipal Affairs and Department of Justice on that. And hopefully have a report back for next meetings. I don't know if it's going to be 2 hours, but
March 1st is when it comes in. So
March 1st.
We got board next board meeting.
All right, yeah. So we'll have it plenty of times so that we can make sure that nobody get in any trouble. Much trouble. There.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, work continues on lift station 10 in Paradise, which is one of the largest lift stations in the province. Comparable, I would think, to the moves. And of course, last night we adopted the code of conduct, and I would have a similar question that Councillor Elford would have asked as well. So it's something good to have that information indeed. Preparation, of course, is continuing and underway for our involvement in the Canada Games 2025. And I'm sure some of the municipalities are having a similar difficulty as we are in attracting heavy equipment mechanics and operators. So I just want to toss that one out there as one of those things is always on our radar screen.
Absolutely. It's funny because I had a conversation with Mayor Goulet in Hollywood today about that. But even just some of our own contractors that we contract to, having trouble finding drivers and operators and people that, you know, pick up the waste and, you know, and delays and stuff. And, you know, it's just last couple of years, the comment, actually, the funny comment that Mayor Goulet said to me is, where'd everybody go? You know, all these people that are working in the service industry, they gotta be working somewhere, but we don't know where. So it's actually valid points, and some of these jobs are a lot more specialized. I'm assuming they're down somewhere, just where we don't know. Points.
Oh, I mean,
Sandy?
just we were talking about travel earlier, just wondering, we should review our travel policy on the expenses. Maybe the finance committee could talk about that.
Is that per diem?
Pretty, yeah.
Sure, we just reviewed that last,
Oh, did we?
within the last year.
Yeah, that's not covered. We changed a couple of them there because, yeah, that's okay. That's what we're here to keep you in task, sir. So no, we did actually make a couple changes on some of them because some of the per diems were not enough to cover breakfast, let alone lunch and supper.
Oh, it's been a while. I haven't traveled.
And same with the American dollar and the per kilometer. We're watching pretty close. Lynn's keeping on top of us. All good. Lynn, in there?
No, I
Skipped over us.
Yeah, I skipped over us. I was just gonna say, you know, businesses today are focusing on cutting their waste as a way to cut greenhouse gas emissions. So as individuals, I guess it's something for all of us to keep in mind as well. If we each reduce our waste, we also have an impact on greenhouse gas emissions. So just one of my things. Cut buying, cut spending, reduce waste. Reduce reuse.
Holly, need a report from the joint councils or?
No,
Covered it all up?
everything was covered by Kevin.
All right, I think we got everything covered off. I don't have much to add in here tonight, so,
That's meeting done.
apparently when the next meetings are. And then,
That's gonna be.
I can let you all know that. So upcoming meetings, March 29th for, board of directors, finance and audit is March 9th. Strategy, March 7th. And Tuesday, March 21st is the governance committee, so hopefully we'll see you all then. And, good evening in the meantime.
Where's next?
Next, we'll let you know. I'm not sure. We don't know.
We are working on having it in the Bay Roberts, Harbor Grace area, but we're trying to nail down the venue still. And that's been ongoing for some time.
We're going up to Fairland in the wind.
End of May.
In May, we're going up to, he's gonna cook us all a home cooked meal for supper. No? Toward that sinister laugh.
Probably don't want
That's right. So, no, thanks for everybody. I know you guys are giving up your evening and it's stormy all night here tonight, so thank you for coming out and not joined by Zoom. Appreciate you taking some time as well. I know you always got other things to be doing, but this is important work as well. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Someone like.
Jeopardy's on in 10 minutes.
What's that? Jeopardy's on. Well, you know what, I'll call, I was gonna go for another 15, but I'll call it early and we'll call a motion to adjourn the meeting and that'll be it. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Night, everyone.
Enjoy your Jeopardy. Hope you get-
Night, everyone.